34-year-old Honey James says she never identified as a male. It also took her years before coming out in her late 20s. An English teacher by profession, James says she started living her truth facing adverse stigma along the way. She built up the courage to stop living in the shadows and accepted her identity. She says she always knew she was feminine as a child, but growing towards adulthood was forced to conform to society's standard.
There were no trans people around back then, at least none that I knew. And I was like, okay, fine, maybe it's gay, that's how I'm supposed to be, a very feminine, flamboyant homosexual. And then once high school ended and I got into the world and started experiencing things and I found drag and I thought, okay, maybe this is what I am, just dressing up as an exaggerated female impersonator for the purposes of entertainment. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. And I did that for a while, and it satiated me for a while, but then it got to the point where I was dressing up as a woman for no reason, just to go out. But obviously the fear kicked in, and it was, what is your mother going to say? What are your grandparents going to say? What is society going to say? How are you going to deal with this? I mean, the neighborhood that I live in, if I walk down the streets, what's going to happen? And then I just got to the age where I was like, who cares? Who cares? I'm so tired of living this fake life. I'm so tired of hiding. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted. It's time. And once I started living in my truth, things just got so much better. I was so much happier.
Honey says life for trans women is fraught with stigma, discrimination and violence. She says her mother's support enabled her to face the ridicule by community members and family alike.
We had a very tearful moment. She assured me I was still her child, and whatever it is that I've chosen to do, it's fine. She's in my corner. And I often joke and say, well, you could have had a drug dealer, or you could have had a gangster. Instead, you just have a trans child. So yeah, I think she's fine with that. My dad also he reacted more on the protective side. He still is worried for my safety. Like, it's dangerous out there. You've got to be safe. I'm like, I know how it is.
Although she has not fully transitioned medically, she is taking hormones daily. She says she was fortunate to transition through the private healthcare sector, an option, she says, many trans people do not have. Although transgender individuals who cannot afford to transition privately can get assistance from specialized government hospitals, there is a long waiting list.
It wasn't as difficult. It's just a matter of affording it, because it can be pricey. I know a lot of people, and a lot of trans people are under the age of 18 or sometimes unemployed, or they don't earn enough. But for me, my hormones is like oxygen. I've got to have it. So I am very fortunate. I'm in a position where I can afford to have it every month. But if the government would get more involved and make it more accessible and more affordable, it would save a lot of people.
Although the country's constitution ensures human rights for all, there is a disconnect between the progressive legal framework and social realities for marginalized people. For a long time, Honey did not celebrate Women's Day. She says the lack of trans stories and representation made it hard for her to relate to it.
It goes without being said, we do need the support, but there's so many other marginalized groups that also need the support. Why can't we all just help each other out? I believe South Africa would be unstoppable if we all just stopped worrying about the small things that don't affect you. My transness is it's not an attack on you as a heterosexual woman or a cisgender woman. I'm not trying to take your seat at the table. I just want us to get a bigger table so we can all have a seat.
Honey says she hopes more people could be brave enough to live their truth.
If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that our time on this earth is limited. Why would you want to waste it hiding?
For SABC News, I am Jade Paulser in Durban.